Welcome back. It's time to talk education. The Joint Admission and Matriculation Board has begun the 2026 UTME with a record of 2.24 million candidates sitting nationwide, the highest in its history. The exam running from the 16th to the 22nd of April started smoothly in many centers. Though some recorded minor delays, JAMB says candidates with biometrics issues will be rescheduled. The board says it will keep improving the process as demand rises each year. JAMB has now released the first batch of results for some candidates. With numbers still growing, what does this mean for the future of higher education in Nigeria? Now, joining us for this conversation is an educationist, chairman, Adams College, and founder of Adams Adebola Education Foundation. Adams Adebola joins us on the program this morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning, sir. Good morning.
What do you make of the UTME that is ongoing at the moment? The first batch of results is out. What's your assessment?
Yes, I think I must commend the JAMB registrar for job well done. Over the years, JAMB exam has always been in a mess. I have been observing that for more than 25 years now, and I've observed that there's positive trend in the organization of the program. Number one is almost like zero tolerance to malpractices. Over the years, you see people get into university even without really knowing anything at all. We see many special centers, operating everywhere in Nigeria. Malpractice has always been the major bane of our educational society. But I think the coming of Professor Oloyede has really brought sanity to that sector. And then with a lot of investment in technology, I think the exam we have this time around can compete with many exams all over the world. I think I would like to score them at least 95%.
Is that not too early?
Sir?
Is that not too early to score them? 95%?
No, because over the years, when you have this kind of exam, you will have had a lot of cases of students getting to the center, not maybe the computer really not working. And then, what they have done this time around that has really worked was they organized a mock exam. And from the mock exam, they saw a lot of lapses. And then they were able to delisted many centers that had a lot of challenges and problems. And then they've been able to fix them over those 3 weeks between the mock exam and the real exam. And I've started seeing some of the results also coming out. Mm-hmm. And then it shows that they really mean a lot of business this time.
Okay, I think it's really good. I mean, to hear you talk very positively about the structure and the system, yeah, and what's happening with that. But then again, what I think I don't say worries me now is the outcome with regards to the students and their performance, right? I remember when I wrote JAMB. You wrote JAMB now?
Absolutely.
I remember writing JAMB, and I know the pressure that was on us to literally get your cutoff mark for the university that you want, right? However, over the years, we've been seeing that in fact, it's not up to 1% of people that score higher than 300%. Right? And then when we come to even 200, that's 100 grade marks lower than 300, we have just about 30-something% of people score in that grade. And now, while fine, the structure might be doing great with regard to their setup, what is happening to the students? Why is there a decline in performance?
Well, there are so many reasons for that decline. Number one, if you look at our educational sector, as I've said earlier, people want to do a lot of shortcuts, and I've kept on telling students, those who are looking for shortcuts, we always have their result cut shorts. It's just the reality of life. If you also look at some of the O-level results, I'm an educationist, and then if you look at the O-level result, you'll be shocked to know that many of the results that you see for this O-level are not actually the student results.
Okay.
So many malpractices go on in many schools.
Okay.
So what JAMB has come to do is to let us know that if you are not ready to go to university, you can't go in. So many of them are not well prepared. A student is going to write an exam. For example, a subject has about 40 topics. He has not been able to read up to 10 of the topics. And he wants magic to happen. Over the years, it has been happening like that. We have magical centers where you can just stroll in.
Magical centers?
Yeah, magical centers.
Please describe that. What is that?
What do you mean by that is that special centers.
Okay.
Malpractice centers where people will pay huge amount of money. And then at the end of the day, the boy or girl will score above 330 over 400.
Despite the measures put in place?
That was before.
Okay.
But now, with Oloyede coming in now, it's difficult for them. So is it like reality now? This is what we call meritocracy.
So that's why the students are not doing well.
That is the reason why they're not doing well. So they all always believe that once I go to the exam center, I will always pass, even without preparing. But you have seen that nowadays, you see, those who are really doing well are those who are actually, taking the bull by the horn, burning the midnight oil and performing very well.
I mean, you are a proprietor yourself of the school now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's good to mention the fact that, yes, if you're not prepared and you go into the hall right now, you will not pass.
Yeah.
However, the issue really is from the school, right? I mean, what is happening in the schools? Now, you have first-hand experience with these children, with these kids, right, in this exam. What would you say is the problem? Is it that the education, the training they are getting from the school is not at par with the examination being set for the JAMB, or what exactly?
Yes, number one, there are many complex reasons for that. Number one is, we're not going to divert it from the welfareism of the schools. You know, many of the school teachers are not well paid. That is the reality.
So they don't teach
well?
So
they don't teach well. That is one. Number two,
are you saying that the quality of education is dropping in the country?
Dropping. Let me give you another practical example. For you to go and study medicine, you need to score above 330, 320, 300. Mm-hmm. For you to study engineering, you have to get the same thing. To study law, you have to get like 280, 290, mass comm 280, 290. But for you to enter College of Education in Nigeria, you need to score 120. For you to be a teacher, you have to score 120. So the implication of that is that those who are going to the educational line are not very, very sound. That is just one of the reasons for that.
Okay. We're seeing that reflect on
it's reflecting on the Nigerian educational sector. It's reflecting. So,
are you suggesting that the standard for teachers now be increased?
It has to. I was privileged to attend a conference for the teachers. I'm not saying this to make mockery of the teachers. And one of the teachers gave a very great blunder in terms of communication in the open. Not even a teacher. The school head of a school, was doing that. And that tells you the quality of what we are going to have from such environment.
That will just be one out of many. I bet you disagree with you.
Yes.
Scholars on the same show.
Scholars, yes.
I came here to tell us about teaching profession. So for you to say that the quality is dropping, I bet you disagree with you.
Yeah, you have to disagree because, number one, the quality may not be dropping in some areas, but we have many other of the schools in Lagos, for example, who are just like a business center.
How do you mean business center?
What I mean by business center is this: the students are not going to be well prepared, but they are going to still pass the exam on the long run. That is what's happening in WAEC, but this is difficult in JAMB.
So are you saying that the teachers are the ones helping them to do?
No, what I'm saying is this: in JAMB, there's a different organization, there's a different board. Okay. There's zero tolerance of malpractices. Even if you see what is going on now, unlike before. Some years ago in Nigeria, before JAMB exam is conducted, people are asking the questions. So people who saw question before the exam are already passing the exams.
That was then, not now.
That's what I'm saying. So it's difficult now. So all those people who were there at that time, who thought it is still applicable now, are finding it difficult to pass the exam. So at this date now, you have to work hard to pass. I saw some results this night this morning, early this morning, of some students who scored above 300. And these are the students who I know personally have been preparing seriously in monthly mock exams, have been doing well. So they score above 300. So it's like garbage in, garbage out. If you're not ready for the exam, you can be sure you're not going to pass the exam. So this exam has become a bit more standard for what they are thinking. That's number one. Number two, there's a high level of technicality involved in passing JAMB compared to the WAEC exam. So many students have not been able to understand those technicality. In writing JAMB exam, for example, if you're going to go to the tech section or the admin, your accuracy and speed have to be on top notch. You discover that many students are not ready for that because they don't even know how to combine the accuracy with the speed. So in trying to be fast, the accuracy is deficient. And in trying to be accurate also, they are slow. So they must have to be ready for the exam. The syllabus have to be well treated before going for the exam. How many of them have the opportunity of finishing the syllabus? There are many students who wrote JAMB, for example, who don't have a single past question, who might have not gone through the past question. And there's no new questions anywhere in any exams in Nigeria. It's just a recycled questions. But many students are lazy. They don't have the privilege of going through the exams. The entertainment industry is also not helping them.
The entertainment industry, they're calling out the entertainment industry.
It's not helping them.
How is that?
Social media is not helping them.
Okay, wait, the entertainment industry
social media is not helping them.
How can the entertainment industry help them, if I may ask?
Let me ask you a question. If they are going to do a program, for example, maybe the Big Brother Nigeria, the winner is going to go with how much millions? The best JAMB student will go with how much thousands. So
are you saying we should reward?
There should be incentives. There should be incentives. There should be incentives. There should be motivation.
Future is not incentive enough?
No. The practical thing I'm saying is that there must be more, more incentives in that sector. There must be more motivation from corporate bodies. Imagine a state politician, for example, or whoever comes out and say the best 10 student in Lagos State will be given this kind of amount. Maybe that
used to happen.
Yes, we'll be given scholarships. The best student will be given scholarship.
That is done in Lagos.
It's done in Lagos, I know, but we have a lot of students who have just graduated from universities now. Best graduating students in many of the universities are not going on with ₦1 million.
Well,
so the motivation is not really
I have
there.
2 questions for you, because
Yes,
you are putting blames on the entertainment industry, the social
The
media.
entire society.
Where lies the role of tutorial centers that also aid and abet in training some of these people, not even to come and sit for exams, but to allow them to pay heavily for special centers? That is one. There's a sharp increase in the candidate. In 2025, it was about 1.9 million students registered for JAMB exam. Now we're seeing about 2.2 million candidates registered for this particular JAMB examination. What could have been the reason? Is it that the federal government, with NEL fund, paying students school fees, is one of the reasons that
Yes.
we have more increase this time around?
Yeah, we have more increase. Number one, we want to commend the government again for that NEL fund privilege. Bola Tinubu, our president, is really doing well, because looking into that area, many students cannot afford school fees. So, trying to do that is taking a lot of burden off parents. So we want to give a lot of kudos to the federal government for that initiative. It's one of them, because we know that if there is fund, why would I not want to go to school? Many don't want to go to school before because of that. So with the introduction of that NEL fund, many students are really interested in going, and many students are really benefiting from that. It's not a scam. People still believe it's a scam.
You can attest to that.
Of course, many students have benefited from that. There are many in university, and there are children of those who don't know anybody. So, the normal thing outside here is that it's meant for some certain sort of people. No, it's meant for as many people as are willing to apply. It's a transparent policy.
That's one of the lies on the social media, that it's meant for some specific people.
It's transparent. I've seen people, students who have gotten that before, and that tells you that it's not a scam. And on the issue of malpractice, as we have said now, cutting centers and all that. I have a tutorial college, for example, operating for more than 25 years. We have students all over the world, by the grace of God. Last year, our students who scored above 300 were more than 300 students. Without
your school?
Yes, without malpractices. This can be confirmed everywhere. And we have students who are in various universities who are first-class students, who are graduates, and they have this first class legitimately. We have a girl who finished from University of Lagos with 5.0. So if the foundation is not good, you can't go to university and have 5.0 all through your stay in University of Lagos. It's not going to be possible. So the foundation is key, and we are not in support of any form of malpractices, and is glaring everywhere. Because if these students are not prepared, there's no way you can get to school and do well. I give kudos to the University of Ibadan, for example. Your O-level result is not going to be used for your admission. They want to see you prepare very well for JAMB, score a very high mark, then come for the post-JAMB. And then prove it to us that this result is yours. So if you have been involved in or indulging malpractice, there's no way you can have access to admission. So I think there is a high level of meritocracy in many, many universities, which can still be attested to today for those who are working very hard.
Okay. I think it's actually, I hear you very loud and clear, but now I know it's important. I know you're saying, okay, fine, social media, entertainment, all of that, distractions, which is actually a fair point for some, right? Yeah. However, for some students, they really try. They are really trying. They're really trying to sit down and study and get ready for these exams. However, they don't still come up with the high grades, right? And you did say the foundation is key. Now, with regards to the foundation and focus on foundation, now let's talk about the people learn in different ways, right? So how would you say the educational system in general in Nigeria, probably starting from your school, is literally putting structures in place that accommodate different types of learning, because there are different types of intelligence, but it's like the Nigerian system has a particular way, you have to do things. So what other ways would you say, is being opened up for students to be able to see that, okay, fine, even if you can't learn this way, you can learn this way, you can still achieve these high numbers?
I want to say that, I really want to say what you have said now is also the reality, and it's a pain to some of us. We can't all be doctors. We can't all be lawyers. We can't all be engineers. That's why in our own college, for example, we have entrepreneurship sections. If you're not very good at mathematics, you're not good at this subject, you can be an entrepreneur. And you can be the best entrepreneur without going to university.
Are those structures?
Yes, they are there. We have coding classes. You can go into coding. You can go into, we have people who are very good at coding, who don't know mathematics and physics. But they can write software. But Nigeria, we have really put all our eggs in one basket. We want to, Nigeria is a certificate-based, environment where you must just have certificate.
Glorified
that is it. You just have to go to university before you can become, celebrated and all that. But that is not working in many countries, because they know that you may be good at this area. You may be good at sports. You may be a good footballer, and you don't have to go to university to study anything. Just go to the academy. And then from there, they give you the little education you need
So
that will
what can
support
be
you.
done to spur people in that direction? So the students finding that attractive is one thing, but also even the parents saying, okay, fine, because most of us, we studied law, we studied medicine. Why? Because our parents say you must go and study them. Do you understand? So how can we make it more enticing? Because even right now, the Ministry of Education is working with regards to, doing more work with regards to skills development, entrepreneurship, as you mentioned. So how can we make that more glorifying?
Everything is also going to be based on the government. Let government put some backing. We don't even doing that. There are school acquisition. We even have it in Lagos State. We have vocational training centers everywhere in Lagos, in Nigeria, all over. But the point is this. Many of the people that want to give it this job, is another thing we have been trying to clamor for. I don't have to work for you before I can be a man. The confidence, the concept of self, you can be self-reliant, you can have your business of your own. That is exactly what we are trying to preach to the students. I don't have to work for you. I don't have to submit CV for you before I can stand on my own. Let's go into that. So that's what I'm thinking.
Finally, in just 1 minute, if you can just answer this.
Yes.
Some critics of JAMB have said, why not scrap JAMB and allow universities to conduct these examinations? We have many applicants and just few of them get admission into universities.
Scrapping JAMB will be a big no for me. Wow. And the reality is this. Corruption in Nigeria.
So universities cannot conduct exams?
I'm telling you that there's corruption. Let me give you a particular example. We have students who enter university. JAMB has a very important section now called CAPS.
Okay.
You cannot enter any Nigerian university without the CAPS, without your name appearing there. They have to do a lot of research to ensure that truly you deserve being there. But there are many people who go. I've seen a girl who came to me after graduating from university that she's now going to write GCE to pass Maths and English. To pass Maths. Number one, how did you enter university without those compulsory O-level results? So if you now leave it to the universities, I'm sorry to use the language, actually the private universities, there will be a lot of challenges because they are like business centers.
All right, so we just have to go now. That's a strong allegation.
That's a very strong allegation.
And I'm ready to defend that anytime.
Okay. You have facts to defend all this?
I have facts to defend that. We have students who enter private university and some other universities without the real credibility. And that's a pain to us because people are denied the opportunity.
Founder Adebola Education Foundation, thank you so much
for having me here.
For joining us on TVC Breakfast Saturday this morning.
Thank you.
Right, so coming up on TVC Breakfast Saturday, Nigeria's opposition under spotlights as divisions and factions raise questions about its strength and direction. Do not go anywhere.